Okay, folks, Thursday night, we see if we can't do a little bit of painting and pick up where we left off. Kind of a late start, but I figured I'd give it a shot instead of just giving up and saying, well, we're not going to do any painting today. 'Cause I didn't get home from work till almost 8 o'clock, so. All right, let's see what we got. We've got Hungarian horse. That's what we're working on these days. And I altered the position of my mount a little bit, so hopefully you guys will get a little bit better view. And yeah, let's get the paint palette here. And still moist. All right. Let's see, we finished the horse here last time, and we were working on his tunic. And we pretty much got that done. We need to do leggings and the cuff and all that stuff on there. So let's go ahead and do this guy's flesh. So lose the glasses so I can see. And focal point there. All right, let's get our usual suspects here going. The airbrush thinner. And I'm going to need the glasses to find where these colors are. All right, red leather, black. We still have black. Do we still have white? No. All right, it's no longer alive. Let's put a fresh spot of white there. Yeah, so almost a weekend, folks, almost a weekend. For you slackers that work 410s, it's already your weekend. If you're retired, you're living the weekend. All right. We're going to do some facials here. Oh, it's only going to work if I put this paint down. Woo! Okay. And of course, good old sunny skin tone. Okay. Let's start making a color that's going to be the darkest tone on them. And this is damn near the same figure as the ones we just did. It's just in a different pose. So I need to make sure this is on and good. All right. So yeah, it's about the same pose as the other ones. Interesting that he's got the end of the bow that's right up to his face, almost like he's thinking on it. All right, and let's lighten that up a little bit. Okay. And now we have to go to a thinner brush. Let's see where my... That's not the one we were using. Let's see what we got over here. We got one specifically we were using for faces. You can see I got a whole pile of them here. A pile of cheap brushes. I don't think it was that one. The reality is I can make any of these work. So let's just do it. Well, I wish we had this technology a couple of years ago. Then I wouldn't have to take my glasses on and off. I could just paint in 20/20 vision, which is what I used to do. And then, the world is blurry here. I'm pretty much painting from the distance to my eye to the figures, probably maybe 6 inches. And that's just for comfort zone. It's not a... If I painted farther away, I'd just paint with my glasses on or paint with my contacts on, but I'm comfortable at this distance, so. The only way to paint at this distance is take my contacts off. So, paint with my nearsightedness. All right, let's... And a couple of you lurkers, welcome. Good evening, or maybe you're in the morning. Ah, there he is. Australian Greg, doing the basing for the last 2 elements of Spear for Pyrrhus. Last night you applied the Liquitex, and today I'm doing the rest of the process. So I guess I'll have to send you a check in the mail there for promoting the Liquitex product. I didn't start doing that. I probably painted 7 or 8 armies before I discovered that Liquitex stuff. And now the dilemma I'm in is if I want to expand those 2.2 armies into 3.0, what to do about the basing. And I probably would just rebase the whole army. So it looks consistent, but it's not a high priority for me. So I've got, let's see, I've got my Hindu, that's 1, my feudal Spanish, my fanatic Berber, that's 3, Armenians 4, my 2 Roman armies, that's 5 and 6, Tang Chinese 7, and the Koreans 8. I don't think I mentioned the Koreans already. So yeah, I got about 8 of the 30 or so armies that still have the old basing. The old basing that I used to do is I would get Ulmer's glue and sand from work. It's clean sand. Sand that we would do our put in for our aggregate and stuff to make cement at work. And you don't need very much. And I would just take one of those little ramekins, a plastic one, and mix it together and just apply it. The problem is that it doesn't have as much level of the grit. So the stuff I'm doing now, dry brush is a lot better. And you don't have to do the whole mix thing. So, and it dries quicker. I think it dries quicker. Anyways, I'm very happy with it. Even though the craft store I discovered it at, I like how people say I discovered it. Well, people already knew about it. Yeah, well, I didn't. No longer carries it. They no longer carry that stuff. So I think the first one I bought it, and when I rebought it, it was no longer available in Michael's. It's which is a chain craft store, and I needed to got a little fluffy here sticking out, and I needed to Amazon it, and I've Amazoned it again. So I think the one I'm on now is like the third one I've used, but I've used it for terrain and all kinds of stuff. So I guess about 2009 was when I switched over. I think the first army I did that switched over is my samurai with it. Something like that. So yeah, it's kind of a dilemma if I want to add. Well, the perfect example, my Rajputs. Okay, my Rajputs in 3.0 can now have another elephant that's not the general. So if I want to build that unit, then I've got an issue with the basing. So I've just kind of looked the other way and done other stuff instead. So when in doubt, go somewhere else. But it's not a huge deal. I mean, I could do it and mix them in with the other guys, and it would only bother me. But so be it. All right, so it's going to mix in a little bit. And like I said earlier, for those of you that didn't join, I said we were up to like 5 people. Good. We need some interaction here. I was off to a late start. I didn't get home from work till damn near 8 o'clock. So, yeah, I kind of put a damper on that. But if we only have a half hour or something like that before I burn out, well, we only have a half hour or so till you burn out. So an interesting thing is happening is every time I'm posting these live videos, for some reason, YouTube decides to flag them for questionable content. I don't know if it's one of those things where they just do that always on regular live videos. But I don't know why that's happening now. Because I could cuss a hell of a lot more. I'm just saying, I'm holding myself back as it is, so. Hopefully by now you guys have watched the game video of Monday night. So, and we should have another one coming on following Monday. I don't want to announce what it is because, like I said, if something goes awry and something were to happen, I don't want to. Something could happen where we have to change the theme at the last minute, and I don't know about you guys, but I detest having the rug pulled out from under me. It just bugs the shit out of me. That and being lied to. That's like, I'd rather you do anything else other than that. So what time is it in Gainesville? Well, on the entire eastern coast of the United States, it is just shy of 9 p.m. So there you go. Man, I haven't seen you in a while. Alan. Work, yeah. Even on the weekends? That's no good. That's no good. All right, so let's see. So we need some leggings for this dude. So what color leggings would this guy wear? Well, not gray because it needs to stand out from the horse. Do we have blue ones? Bluish ones? Yeah, we could do bluish ones as long as we don't get too crazy. Well, we could still get crazy. You just have to tone it down with leave some black in it. Like, I could do this, but you'd still end up leaving some black in it. But this doesn't scream Hungarian. We're gonna do a dark red, and this time we're actually gonna use a dark red. We're gonna use this beautiful color, which is burnt cadmium red. And we'll use this. Almost noon Friday. I wish it was noon Friday. I wish it was 8 p.m. Friday. To get this weekend here. That's what happens when you retire. It's like, you're not impressed by a Friday over any other day. It's just, oh, just another day of the week. All right, we don't want to use that specialized, brush. We need to save those special ones for ones where you really need to get in there close and personal. Alan, you're probably getting some cooler weather now. We're still in the frickin' 80s, and it's still hot at night, so. And no breeze, of course. The frickin' swamp. It's okay. In about 3 months, you're gonna be. Everybody else is gonna be bitching how cold it is, and I'm gonna be like, "It's wonderful here. It's 42 degrees. Awesome." And other people are, running the heater and stuff, and I'll be laughing it up in 42-degree weather. Wearing some long sleeves on camera. Yeah, baby. Can't wait. That'll be for about a week, and then we'll be back to, the sweat zone. Supposed to be much cooler this weekend. That's what they say. Halloween's about the time here when it switches. But half the time you get a hot Halloween, and sometimes you get a cool one, so. I guess Halloween actually lands on the right day of the week, on a Saturday. And I guess we're gonna go outside and hand out candy. What we do every year. We'll see if there's people out there. When somebody's new to our neighborhood, I live in a suburban neighborhood, very similar to yours, Greg, in appearance and everything. And we have groups of kids that usually go around and do that. But we had a lady that's new to our neighborhood and was like, "So what are the rules for Halloween?" And I'm like, "Why do you need rules? How about, if you feel comfortable, you go out there, and if you don't, you don't." Go put the candy in a basket, sit outside, and put the candy 10 feet from you. Kids can come up and get it there. If they're that worried about it. I just like to go outside, look at the costumes, and have an adult beverage or two. Full moon as well. Well, there you go. Perfect lighting. Halloween is so big here. Really? But the big shops are pushing it big time. You mean like the stores? I thought it was an American thing. Have you seen the video of what they do in Germany? They have that Krampus thing. That's why in Germany you can't have firearms like you do in the US, because I'd be taking some of them demon bastards down. That's some creepy shit. Come to my neighborhood with a torch wearing a demon mask. No, it is. No, it isn't big here. Yeah, it didn't make sense. Halloween, I thought, was a U.S. thing. Yeah. Yeah, and it used to be we had that daylight savings time, and it used to be for the longest time that the weekend before Halloween hit is when it would change. So, in other words, it would be extra dark for the first time when Halloween came. Halloween was like always on the first week when it was extra dark, like an hour darker. So, it's becoming another commercial opportunity. Oh, good. Well, now you're Australia is becoming the United States of the 1940s. Perfect. You guys need to catch up. Yeah, everything's like pushing this and pushing that. I don't like people pushing stuff. I like, I'll buy something when it seems right for me. You guys drive on the wrong side of the street in Australia, don't you? I just thought about that. I bet you do. Notice how I said that on the wrong side of the street. Well, we're wrong for not using a metric system, and you guys are wrong for not driving on the correct side of the street. I wonder how that happened. Why one side decided to do something else? All right, so we got some red leggings on this dude. Well, we know he's gonna have a white thing. No, on the left side of the road. You do not drive on the right side of the street. Oh man. Let's see. Okay, so we need to do, let's go ahead and do his hood and get it over with. Gonna give this guy a white hood as well. That's the theme that we got going for these horse archers. What's this? Somebody sending me a link. I've had all day to send me a link. Finished applying the chocolate brown. There you go. That's always the right. I really like that color combination that I use now. Um, the only reason I'll be honest with you, I lifted it from Flames of War. Flames of War. I don't play Flames of War, but I do. Their site has some really good, useful information, and they show like different combinations of like the terrain. If you use this color first, and then the middle tone, and then the light tone to lighten it up, and examples of it already done. So I'm like, I like that one. So that's what I went with, and that's what I did for the desert one as well. So. It's okay to lift things from other people. Just make sure you give them credit of who you lifted it from. I'd be like, oh, I came up with this all on my own. Yeah, okay, dude. One of my favorite sayings is, I like you for who you are, not for the stories that you tell. Some of these colors don't cover that well, but it doesn't really matter because, I'm going to add multiple tones of these guys, so not a big deal. Not a big deal. Yes, this is another light horse. I've got 2 done. This is the 3rd one. When this guy's done, I got 3 more to do. And then we can be done with these bastards. We could move on to something else. You know, I've mentioned before that, and people probably have a hard time believing this, but when I'm done painting an army, I'm not really that interested in even playing them. As I've looked at them for hundreds of hours. So, and obviously I do play them, but except my Irish, I get excited about those guys. Maybe because I get to drink along with them. I have a feeling I may actually be able to play them on Monday. We'll see. They might work with the theme, so you better believe I'll play them if I can. I have way too much fun with those guys to not. Only problem with playing that army is, man, I just don't want to. Even though I've got that custom flag and everything for Edward Bruce, I, I I like using the light horse commander because of that dog, man. That's my tie-in. I like that dog. Guinness instead of whiskey. No, no whiskey. I do a lot better with the. I do a lot better with the alcohol instead of beer. Beer really like makes me sleepy. I do a lot better with the alcohol and just straight over ice. Drink it slow. I mean, I drink everything else with ice, so. And I still got plenty of whiskey left, so we'll be taking that with us. I thought you were done with the Pyrrhic army. I guess I was wrong. I thought you were completely done with them. Maybe I just assumed because you worked on the elephant that that was the last element, and that wasn't the case. Wayne had single malt scotch with just ice. You know, I've had scotch before and I don't care for it, but I'll tell you this. If I do, when I do my pre-feudal Scots army, I will buy a little flask of scotch and we will drink along with them too. So I think they have a drinking problem too, don't they? It's part of the experience. I only need to drink at work. I don't need to drink when I'm not at work. So, and my background really playing war games was never drinking during the war games. I was always doing thinking games. So, you know, thinking and drinking doesn't really work well together. Kind of defeats the purpose. So, just wish we gamed on the weekend. instead of at the beginning of the work week. Because on Monday I went over there. I was like, I packing up all my stuff, and then when I get back home, I realized that not only did I get a package in the mail, but I got two packages in the mail. So I got two unboxings to do, plus editing of the video that I just shot, plus a whole work week. I'm like, man, Mondays are just too busy for me. But that happens frequently. I'll get nothing in the mail over the weekend, and then Monday, I'll get, it's almost like it still travels on Sunday, but it just doesn't deliver on Sunday. And that's the difference. Is very frequently you'll get something on a Monday instead of where you could have got it on a Saturday and have plenty of time to open it and so forth, film a video, take your time, not being rushed. But I guess I shouldn't complain. Lots of people in this neighborhood we've got a bulletin board on Facebook for our neighborhood, and many people complain that they get their mail lost all the time. There'll constantly be posts of, hey, I'm expecting something from Amazon, I'm so and so, and did you come across a package that's been misdelivered? So it's a frequent problem here. Decided to do a couple of spear elements rather than use ones I already had. Okay. Hey, I approve that. That's the right attitude to have with that. You can have your own spear elements for him. So, did you paint them like Tarantines? That's what I would do. I was thinking, well, I don't know how to paint them. Maybe put like a T on their shield or something like that. I'm being careful. The thing with white is, unlike every other color, once you get to the top layer of white, you can't lighten it up anymore. That's it. That's all you have. So you don't want to rush to the top and then have nowhere to go from there. So unlike any other color, if you're doing black, you can always lighten it up a little bit more. If you're doing red, you can lighten up more. Any other color except white, because that's the brightest shade. So just something to keep in mind. More obvious stuff by Tony. Southern Italian with the Greek influences. Yep. All right, let's just get in here and do the final. I'll be using them next month at David Lawrence's Land Waster. Is there any chance of that being canceled? I noticed you guys were posting on that today. It's like, oh, Australia, the place where there are conventions. But is there any chance of that being canceled? That's what I've had enough of. I've had enough of rug being pulled out from under me. I'd rather just like, you know what, we're not going. And now it's like, oh, okay, can't change at the last minute. Okay. All right, we got that done. I guess we could stand and do a bow now. I think we used the buff color for that with some chocolate brown for the darkness. So let's grab Buffy here. I believe this is it. That it is. Like, I don't think, I mean, we're registered for it. I don't think Historicon's going on next year. I don't think we'll have any conventions next year. Doesn't mean I'm not going to go to them, and we'll go to them if they have them, but I don't think there's going to be a single one. So if it doesn't go off, I told you so, folks. Okay, let's do, do we use brown? It's just, do we have a brown out here? I think there's enough of this. There we go. We can make that work. Not a convention as such. A one-day DBA tournament won't be canceled unless there's a huge outbreak of COVID. National daily numbers are less than 20. I don't know what ours are in this county or anything. I don't pay attention to any of it. I don't pay attention to none of it. Pretty much don't listen to the news. Pretty much just go home, work, go to Mitch's. We might go out to eat once or twice on the weekend, not during the week. That's it. Don't really go anywhere. Whatevs. Are your movie theaters closed in Australia? They all pretty much shut down here. I don't know how that industry is going to survive. I thought it was kind of on the downwards spiral, anyways, with all the streaming services and people being able to watch TV from home. I mean, yes, it's not the same thing, but I only go to a couple movies a year, or was going to a couple movies a year, and basically with the daughter. But maybe they're open there in Australia if you don't have that many cases of it or that much regulation upon it. No, they've reopened with 50% capacity, though not much to watch blockbuster movies to hold over the next year. Most movies aren't worth watching, anyways. I think. Into like the third episode of that Barbarians. It isn't totally horrible, but it's something to do. Although I watched it a little today and I fell asleep 3 times, so it is kind of interesting watching it where the Germans speak German and the Romans speak Latin. That's pretty cool. So, All right, so we got his bow done. We line that up a little bit more. That's add a little bit of. I still don't like about television is I can't do anything while I'm watching television. I can't paint. I can't do anything while I'm watching television other than watching television. So that alone is like not very interested. So let's see what we got. What kind of a signal? We still got full bars? Yeah, I got 5G to the max. Yeah, I've heard that. We'll probably watch some episodes next week. Yeah, it's whatever. You watch it one time and you move on. Okay, what color beard we're gonna give this guy? Well, he needs some contrast. Let's just stick with black, and then maybe lighten it up a little bit. Yeah, they got a couple of the German characters that look really similar to each other, and a couple of scenes. I'm like, which one of the two guys is this? You know, one guy's sturdier built than the other one, but the problem is when they're just showing his face. I'm not really sure in low light. I'm not really sure which guy's which. That happened to me today. I was watching. I'm like, huh, which one of these two guys is it? Well, I don't think it really matters. Chocolate brown is dried. On to the U.S. field drab. There you go. You using exactly the same colors I'm using? It's okay if you are. I mean, I stole them from somebody else. You might as well, do the same thing. Pass on the love. Okay, this guy's got a sword. So let's paint his scabbard. Let's do a lighter color that's going to stand out from the leggings that are right there. So in other words, I don't want to use like a red leather type color. I want something that's going to pop a little bit more. Let's do, yes, you think that scheme looks great. Yeah, it's worked. And it looks better in person than it does it looks okay in the still pictures, but in the videos, it just looked like a lot of stuff just looks like crap. I watch them like that's not what it looks like, but yeah, whatever. You do what you can. I was just looking at my signal. I got max 5G signal, so it can't get any better. But I'm sure you guys aren't watching. You guys are at 720, I'm sure. Which even 1080 video, the battle videos I do are in 1080, and still it doesn't do it justice. It looks better with a naked eye. So maybe I should do that. Maybe I should film a video in 4K, a short one, and but not a battle video because then it would be like, oh, we want them all to look that way. Well, then it's not really going to work out. So I think my phone can do 8K. Although I watched should you even do 8K video, and it kind of convinced me not to bother. So most people aren't even going to be able to see that resolution. So all I'm doing is taking up an absurd amount of processing time for something people can't even view. So Okay, let's get Mr. Brass out here. Mr. Bronze, I should say. Greg, you've been with me for a while. You must not have a honeydew list. I know you gave her a sleeping pill. Should she leave you alone so you can get some painting done? Shh, don't say anything. I found that hilarious that she liked the boys and you didn't. That's so funny. I don't really watch superhero stuff. That one just happened to be really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the humor. So okay, let's paint some accoutrements. Let's see, what color is this? This is that cork brown. Oh, no, this is beige red. The other one, same, almost the same thing. We're gonna do the we're gonna do that in this. Did you ever finish watching those things on Netflix? They had the what was the Roman Empire one? They had three of them, I think. I think there was three. They had one that was on Julius Caesar. Then they had one on the fall of the Roman Empire. Whatever that guy's name was, I can't think. That's happened to me all the freaking time. And then I want to say they had a third one, all in the same one. I started watching a couple of them, and I just, eh, people complain that there's too much CGI, and I think that there needs to be more CGI because how many things have you watched that are historical related, or maybe they're documentaries or something that involves like cavalry, and they don't show any cavalry at all because you can't really show like people running into horses and stuff like that, so or horses running into people. So Home Alone, Lorraine is supervising year 12 students as they sit their final exams. Year 12, so that's seniors in high school or people that have their PhDs. That'd be like 12 years too, right? I assume you mean high school. Year 12. I guess my daughter's on year 10, so it looks kind of rosy, but we'll fix that. Last year of high school. Okay, seniors in high school. Good. That way you can be done with school and go out and work and pay some taxes. Go get a job and pay back mum. Ooh, gonna be interesting getting in here to fit this thing. I could do it though. The final exams. Oh yeah, because it's spring there. I'm like, wait a second, it's October. You guys should just call it a different month. You should just say, yep, we're in May. So I wonder what they do in Ecuador. Because Ecuador is split. The northern and southern hemispheres run right through that. So what do they do? Do they still call it spring, or do they call it the other thing? Interesting. Never thought about that. Your academic. You've been watching Dan Jones walking Britain's Roman roads. Okay. I need to pick up his Crusades book again. So his Plantagenet book is awesome. It's a great book. But the guy that narrates it on Audible should be beaten. Well, I didn't enjoy his narration. Let's put it that way. Just doesn't have enough life in it for me. So, but his book is awesome. So the one on the Crusades is actually narrated by himself, which is, it makes sense to me that he would narrate his own book, and he does a really good job. Plus, he speaks very clearly, so that always helps. Although most English speakers, let's see, how would I say this? People with an English accent. Okay, most people with an English accent that do a production like that are not difficult to understand. They're not all chopped up and. But yeah, once I find an author I don't like, they get. I mean, not an author, a narrator that I don't like. I make sure never to get anything from him again. I've got one in particular that's prolific. He does most of the ancient and medieval stuff on there, and he sounds like some pompous old world person, and he's some guy. I think he's from Washington State or Oregon or something like that. So he's got like this made up accent, and I don't know. He just constantly mispronounces. He mispronounces things, and his meter is off. Like you know. But yeah, the Dan Jones Crusade one's good. But I just I saw something shiny, didn't finish reading it. It jumps all over the place, which isn't a problem for me. I can see it being a problem for a lot of other people because it'll do like a couple characters in Spain. It'll go to the Middle East and some Muslim characters, almost like short stories from the Crusades. Not a it's not a linear history, but it's little snippets of things that happen to individual people. So I actually wasn't expecting that and liked it, but yeah, I really want to do the Plantagenet book again, but man, I really don't want to sit through that guy again. He's just low energy. He reminds me of the guy who's did that. You guys are familiar with the History of Rome podcast that was done by I don't remember what his name is, but he did that for many years. He did that for 3 or 4 years or whatever. And there's a guy that picked up the Byzantium one, and the guy that does the Byzantium, same thing. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I mean, hell, I may not even do a good job narrating stuff, but I'd have a lot more energy when I'm reading things. Um, I don't know. It was just a little too. I just lost interest. But the Plantagenet book is excellent. His Crusades and Plantagenet books are great. I've got his Templar book as well. I haven't gotten that one because I think its focus is too narrow. But I do like him as an author. There's no doubt about it, and he does fine as a narrator. So. There's two narrators that I think are the best of everything that I've seen on there on Audible, and one of them is the guy that I don't remember what the name of the narrator is, unfortunately, but he's that one book that I wanted to share with you, but I guess you can't share books to between across countries, or maybe in Australia. Maybe you guys are just getting the not being treated fairly. They didn't allow me to share that book with you, but that one, Ghosts of Canai, the author in that is spectacular. He's really, really good. I've I've read that. I've had it read to me a couple times now, and I guess I have. For not liking the Carthaginians very much, I sure have read a lot about them. I've got a couple of books on that one has the Hannibal stuff in it. Plus, I did the Civil War guy that did the Hannibal one. Dodge is his last name. And what else? Which else one did I do? Polybius, and I want to say one more. Yeah, I tend not to listen to audiobooks or podcasts. I prefer to read at my own pace. I just don't have time to sit there and just read. I just don't know when I would do it. I guess I could do it at lunchtime, but man, I'm really unsuccessful at doing that. I find myself looking at YouTube or, I go down the YouTube rabbit hole. I can't read it while I'm going to and from work, which I don't have a very long drive, but it's 20 minutes. 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, so let's brighten this up a little bit more. And we don't want to go all the way into this rosy color. Yeah, audiobooks for me is a way to go. Like if you're like power washing your house or something like that, you're like, you don't mind. I don't mow the lawn, any of that stuff like that. Don't mind doing it. That's going to be coming up soon once the weather gets cooler. Well, there, power washing. You find audiobooks distracting when driving. I know, because you're driving on the wrong side of the road. It's not natural. If you just drive on the right side of the road, well, you can't be the only guy driving on the right side of the road. What's that guy doing? Well, he's marching the beat of his own drum. Well, you can't do that there. I don't drive in a very heavy um, traffic light area. It's not too bad for me. So no, I'm afraid the whole world's against you guys on that one. What is there? Maybe like 12. We lost power. That's what that flicker was. Here we go again. No storms or nothing. I'll be right back. Hopefully we can keep this feed going. I take it that was everywhere? Okay. Needed to get some liquids, more liquids as well. Yeah, we've had that happen a couple times. There was a problem in our neighborhood group. Some lady posted on there about a week ago that said, I just happen to have a power outage. I just moved to this neighborhood. Does this happen all the time? And I was dying to respond on there and said, no, lady, it hadn't even happened once until your happy ass moved here. But I didn't do that. So, hey, Rick, you hate it when the power goes out just long enough, maybe half a second, to make me have to go around resetting the clocks. Better than a long outage, I suppose. Yeah, that's true. You just reminded me I have to go set clocks. Damn it. No, I don't think this is storm related. We don't have any, no storm issues here. Other countries drive on the left-hand side. Yeah, but there's only like 80 you guys. Yeah, the ones you mentioned, UK, New Zealand, India, Japan, US, Jamaica. Okay. The Bahamas may. All those British isles, and I'm sure they drive on the other side in Bermuda, but anyhow. I wonder why that happened. I wonder why certain countries have said that's got to be a pain in the ass to go across the channel. Like I said, I could probably handle doing it, but not with a stick shift. No, like I'm not shifting with my left hand. That's just weird. And while you're trying to do that, hey, hell, why don't you go ahead and put the clutch pedal on the right foot while you're at it? Really turn your ass around. There's some model I came across. This thing misbehaved here. There's some model of that I came across. Some guy was building some World War II French vehicles, and there was some like big truck or whatever he was building, and it had the steering on. It had the steering wheel on the right side, which was really weird, for a French vehicle. I wonder what the story behind that is. I guess I should have remembered what vehicle it is and then look on it. Some massive big truck type thing. I haven't painted a World War II vehicle in so long. I don't remember. And I never got around to doing French. I did have French World War II ships. Quite a few of them. I like those, but not the land stuff. When we drove in the U.S., definitely went with an automatic. I don't think they rent stick shifts here. I don't think they rent stick shifts, which is a shame because my first car was a stick shift, and I haven't driven a stick shift in 11 years, and I would love to have another stick shift again. I'm the only idiot that wants a stick shift, I guess. Uh, it's fun. It's like playing a game. So, but yeah, I don't think they. I don't think they even rent them. I'm sure a lot of people don't want to drive them. Hell, there's a lot of people I've heard that don't even want to drive. Want somebody else driving them around. No, thank you. I'd rather be the driver. I got trust issues. I'd rather be the driver. Really? Manual was offered? I don't know anybody who has a manual car here in the US as a rental. And we rent a lot. Maybe there is hope. All right. Let's well, I guess I've gotten a lot more done than I thought I was going to get done. That's a good thing. Yay! Stopping for lunch. Hopefully you will still be live when I return. Um, it's almost 10. Make it a quick lunch. All right, we need a bow case to do. These guys have bow cases as well. I don't want to use a color that's similar to those just to mix it up a little bit. These guys are kind of irregular, so we can use this one. This would be all right. And then we'll make the, yeah. Do you have anything brighter than that? Certainly have something brighter than that. No? I've got lots of colors. I just wanted to use a coat d'arms one. That'll make me happy. Oh, that is the Russian brown one. Okay. Well, we'll use this. What's this? Field gray. All right. Wehrmacht underwear color. I don't know what color their underwear were. Does Osprey have a book yet on Wehrmacht underwear yet? I mean, I get the Germans are popular, but geez, you know. We shouldn't need more than that. We're only doing a small bow case. Indigestion. I tend to eat too fast for my own good. I guess it probably came from the first job that I had. We just kind of ate on the fly. So you wanted to eat quick so that you don't get interrupted in your meal, but in the process you end up like eating like a marathon thing. So I don't know, I eat very quick. And I don't leave anything either. So put things in front of me, it's gonna get eaten. That's my substance abuse problem, food. All right. I don't remember what time he said it was there. Lunchtime for me is 11 a.m. Of course, I'm eating breakfast at 5. 11 a.m., 5 a.m., 11 a.m., and then in a perfect world, as soon as I get home, or 5 o'clock or so. That's my preference. We're gonna put some basic designs on this bow case. Nothing complicated, just don't want to leave it barren one color. I don't know what the hell I drew, but I just gave it some kind of a design on there. That's as Jackson Pollock as I can get. There's something in there to break the monotony. Okay. We need to do the handle of the sword, whatever the hell it's called. I can't remember anymore. And then lighten it some. And now the saddle. I don't know what color saddle we're gonna do. Do we do pretty? This guy's actually has a blanket to ride on. So, what time is it? It's almost 10 o'clock. Well, gorgeous. I think that's overkill. That's overselling this guy. But let me show you the other ones here. This is the first one that I did. You got to do something to it because it's just totally barren. There's his bow case. Just nothing, something there and nothing there at the same time. And then this is the other one that we did. Just some little dots. Just some kind of detail on there. You know, something to do. Something plausible or whatever. And all right, so saddlecloth, huh? Well, and it's got trim, which the nice thing on there is they went ahead and put the trim on there. So I'm just going to decide the trim's going to be red. Bam! Just like that. So what's the inside going to be? Well, hell, let's do blue. Let's do blue, plus there's a little bit of the saddle showing. So that's how we're going to do. We're going to paint the saddle part first. Then we're going to put the center part of the saddle cloth blue, and then we're going to do red trim. Right. Off we go. All right. I need to put more moisture on this because this thing is all crinkly. So we need to go. I'll be right back in a jiff, and we're going to add some more moisture to this. Okay. The fan's probably not helping either, but if the fan's not going on, I'm not going to do any painting. That's the rules. If I'm going to paint, I'm going to be in a comfortable temperature. So, them's the rules. I spend all day being hot and uncomfortable. I don't need any of that here. Okay, do we have a... Yeah, let's just grab a generic looking brown. What we got here? Well, hell, it's made of leather. Why don't we just pick leather brown? Not that it really matters a whole lot because I end up lightening and darkening it. No, this is flat earth. I said I wanted leather brown. I want it, Daddy. I want it now. Well, I'll be damned if I can't find it. Well, I got all my browns in couple boxes. And all the butts of them are all sticking out. That's flat earth. It's damn near the same color. There we go. Leather brown. Insolent paint color. All right. All right. All right, Brownie. Let's get you over here. All right, let's mix them. We don't need a whole lot of that because it's a tiny area we're doing. And it's just the little, literally the little saddle on there. All right, let's add some water to that. There we go. That's gonna dry out as we go, unfortunately. Okay. So all we're gonna do is paint the little saddle in here, which I don't paint inside out. I paint what I feel like. Because for me, the determining factor isn't necessarily being able to reach it. It's the painter's block, like writer's block, painter's block. So it's like, okay, well, I don't know what color to paint this. Well, damn it, I know I want him to give him a red shirt, so paint the red shirt. And after you see the red shirt, I'm like, oh, I want like blue pants, so paint the blue pants. And then like, I still don't know, so paint his face, because you know that, what color that's going to be. Paint what you know. Don't get hung up on trying to figure out how every single color is going to be before you put down a drop of paint. Just jump in there and paint your way out. At least that's what I do. I've been moderately successful with it. Because that's, even though I'm a slow painter, most of your time ends up being taken up by that cogitating time. Well, let's see. I want to give him a red shirt, so what kind of pants? Green. Next thing you know, you end up spending all day worrying about stuff that before even putting any color down. Just paint what you know. You know you want this, go ahead and paint it. Move on. How'd the white dry out so fast? There we go. All right. All right. All right, now let's grab that blue. I think I know which one this one is. This is the one that's already look at this. This is when I first started getting the Vallejo paints. What I would do is I'd take them, I'd open them and paint the color on the lid, right? Sounds like a great idea, right? Well, it takes for freaking ever. And also, I stacked them in like this. So I'm looking at the bottom. Now with the way I have all my paints laid out, I'm not looking at the ends. But this color looks, if you could visualize what color this is, it's not too dissimilar to the shirt that I have on. But watch for when I turn it really quickly, watch. It's much grayer. It sure seems like it. And this particular one is watery as hell. Can I do this without making a huge mistake? Yeah, I think it's a lot grayer than the bottle gives it credit for. So we're not going to use this one. We're going to let's just use a run-in-the-mill blue. A royal blue. Oh. We'll use royal blue. And of course, we're not going to bring it up to this level. We're going to cut short and lighten it up from there. So that's not so darn bright. Because otherwise it'll look all doink, be too bright a figure. So, and then this one's paint that's kind of thick. We don't need much. It's probably plenty. The royal blue. All right. All right. Well, I thought I was only going to make it like a half an hour. We're almost an hour and a half, so that worked out. All right, that's good. That color's good there to paint the whole thing. So, Okay. Now we're going to add a little bit more of this blue to it to liven up the color, but then we're going to stop going any further in that direction and start lightening it up with white because we don't want a super bright blue color. This guy is kind of a commoner. In the narrative that I'm building with this guy, he is a commoner guy, and he just barely had enough money to get himself a horse, and he's going to be making his money on the plundering and stuff he's going to do. But he put all his eggs in the "I'm buying a horse" basket. So anyhow, that's the story that this guy has. So. Hey, horses are expensive, and they eat a lot too, and people want to steal them from you. All right, now we're going to take this same color. Let's grab a little bit of white and bring it in here. There we go. Okay. And let's lighten up a tiny little bit more. Okay, now we're going to do the red trim on the cloth. And we're not going to use the dark red for this one. We're going to use red. And first one I grab. The scarlet is just fine. Let's go over here where we've got some reds going on. Try to keep my colors in a similar place if I can. Which explains why the blues are over there by itself. Okay, maybe a little bit more. All right. Okay. And now we'll add more red to that. Bring that up. Now, we're not going to go all the way to this, so at some point we're going to say, okay, that's enough. A little more. Okay. And it can lighten it up with yellow and everything. I think white is just fine. If it goes a tiny little bit pink, I'm fine with it. Okay. That's where we're at so far. So we got a lot done on this guy. I'm gonna stop for the night, and we've got some straps and stuff that we will have to do on him, and the hooves and so forth, socks or anything if they go on the horse. But yeah, he's 85% done probably. So, anyways, thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and we'll catch you guys next time. Happy painting.